Hello, good evening, everyone. Shall we start now? Ready?
It is usually said that whoever handles the pressure well wins the Pakistan-India contest. You think that Pakistan failed to handle the pressure, especially in the batting?
Oh, look, I'll go back a little bit. I think with the ball, obviously the ball was spinning quite a lot initially, and I think the way Kishan played took the game away from us. And I think, to be fair to India, they probably got about 25 above par on that surface. And then from a batting point of view, we didn't really give ourselves a chance in terms of adjusting to conditions.
Coach, just one question. You said it was spinning, and Salman Ali Agha had a great start with the balls. So did Saim who bowled well in his first 2 overs. But what was the point of holding Usman Tariq back so long, the X factor? He could have been, but Ishan was going all guns blazing. Do you think Pakistan kind of missed the trick by keeping Usman so late?
Look, Usman's a really good player when players are going after him, and he's got a pretty specific role for us. Could he have bowled after the power play? Yes, he could have. But I think, Abrar Ahmed has been doing a really good job for us, as has Shadab Khan post-power play. They both bowled an over that didn't go their way in terms of their lengths. But certainly I'd back those guys any day to do that job as they have done, the last 5 wins. So, it didn't work today. But as I said, Usman Tariq's got a very clear role, and I thought he was exceptional tonight.
Coach, 4 days back, Australia did the same mistake. They bowled, they asked Zimbabwe to bat first. And then failed to chase down.
The ball skid on. So there's nothing wrong with the decision to bowl first. It was the quality of the bowling in the first 6 overs, and also the way Kishan played in terms of took the game away from us. So certainly nothing to do with the pitch slowing down. It didn't slow down, it spun less. So you've got to look at the facts rather than, the emotive accountability. They bowled nicely up front with the seam. We took some poor options, but certainly wasn't the pitch.
Mike, you have obviously, seen
A bit
Ishan
louder, please.
You've obviously, seen Ishan up front in the IPL, and now he's again, come back in form in T20 cricket over the last 3-4 months. Just what makes it so challenging to bowl to a batter like Ishan?
Well, he's fearless. He's able to score both sides of the ground. So he's not just committed to the leg side. We know he's incredibly strong there, but he can reverse. So if you've got spin, especially in the power play, it can be a challenge. But I think the fact that he's in a rare vein of form, applied a lot of pressure to our spinners and probably took them away from the basics, which the pitch was actually doing a lot when we bowled nice and slow and into it. But, outside of that, no one really scored better than a run of ball. Other than Dubé was slightly better, but it was tough. And that certainly was a standout amongst the whole match, really.
Yes, please.
Mike over here. Just given the amount of the build-up to this game for off-field reasons, how did you, coming into this environment, how did you as coach deal with that with the squad? What was the dialogue?
Oh, look, I think we know that it's a huge event, Pakistan against India, but we've played some good cricket. We've obviously won 5 games on the bounce. We're confident, and today we got outplayed. But in terms of preparation, the guys have prepared well. There's a pretty disappointed dressing room in there at the moment because they know how much it means to Pakistan. And, we're really disappointed we didn't play as well as we could, but we're also part of a tournament, and we know in tournament play that it's not always going to go your way. So, our job is to pick ourselves up and make sure that we're very good in 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Coach, whose plan was it to bat first after winning the toss? Is it that defensive
He has
approach?
already
Defensive
answered
approach?
this question. He has
Yeah, I mean, I've answered. I mean, both sides we're going to bowl first because the pitch was soft and the ball spun twice as much in the first innings than the second. So, there was talk before about the Australia game. That was a day game. This is a night game. So, like I said, nothing to do with the toss. It was just execution.
Hey, Mike. Hard luck. The margin of defeat is 61 runs, which is the highest. The previous highest was 12, so it's clearly demoralizing. As you said, the dressing room's hurting. You also said that the options the batters took today were not great. After all the preparation you've done as a coach, how do you it's very early for you to analyze, but can you just slightly expand on that, like what your feelings are when the batters take those options after preparing so well?
Yeah, look, it is very much when a guy's putting you under pressure, it's, are you going to stick to your basics or are you going to go away from that? And I think, that's going to be a real challenge because as the tournament progresses, we'll be put under pressure again. And, it's how we respond when and that's something that, for us to progress further in this tournament, it's something we're going to have to get better at. Sorry, I can't hear. I can't hear.
Can you have the mic?
Can at times like this in a high stakes, high pressure contest like this, can batters overthink also, even despite the experience?
I think they can. I think when you see a score and you know that it's probably a little bit above par, you almost feel like you've got to play like Superman and, take the game on earlier than the conditions allow you to. And I think, we lost wickets early on to shots that I'm sure, on that surface, they were pretty tough. They were tough options. On a quicker surface, at SSC, it might be a little bit different. So it is about adapting, and we've been really good the last few months about adapting to different conditions. Today, we probably took a little step back.
Coach, two quick ones. One, the decision to bowl Salman Agha in the first over, that paved out really well. And the second one, whose decision was it? Whose call was it, firstly? And the second one, we saw that in the Asia Cup as well. If the board president is coming to meet the players one day before the match, does it add a bit of extra pressure on the players to, go out and deliver? It is already a very high-pressured match. Does it add extra pressure on the players?
Well, look, I'll talk about, Salman Ali Agha first. I mean, we'd planned that for probably 3 days in terms of, we knew that Siam was probably a matchup they were going to expect with their left-handers. We felt that the way Agha bowls into the wicket, if the wicket was a little bit tacky, which it was, that he might get some advantage out of that. And he's been subtly practicing with a brand new ball the last couple of trainings. So it's something that, we've both discussed. Certainly he was keen to do it and had prepared accordingly.